Watch this, look. Kiss, kiss, come on. Alright, baby, give me some. And as soon as they're at it, look at this. Get off, get off. And they just, how are you meant to breed? So these are all the cocks, except for Zoolander, potentially, in the corner, which I think is a hen. Because I think she's paired up with one of these cocks. And so now I'm going to put the hens into their respective cocks boxes, but some of these boxes haven't been taken by cocks yet, and I can't wait forever because I need to get these paired up, mainly in case I make a mistake and it gives me a chance to rectify it. So I've put these little mesh doors on, and I can put them on there so they've got access. I've put the water bowls in there. I might make another one so I can put food in there for the hens as well, but for now I'll just slide a pot in with food, and we'll just see how we go, really. I've kind of it's been our busiest few months at work ever, so I've not managed to get as far along or as well planned as I'd hoped to. But which birds I'm actually bothered about pairing, because they're only young birds, they've only raced one season. The maximum amount of races they've done is 5, so it's really hard to tell anything from them. And obviously we've got the ones that are consistently good, so they're the ones I'm bothered about pairing. And I've got my list. I'll talk you through that in a second. So at the moment the cocks are in there, I'm going to put the hens in their boxes, and I'll let the cocks in and we'll see what pandemonium ensues. There we go. So this is 1994, this is our fed winner. And she's already laid some eggs, so we know that she's good, so we're going to stick her in box number 1. And then next one is 1983, which is a really good, consistent bird. That's what happens when you're working on me. 1983, right, you are paired up. 1998. You're going in box 2. Unit. Number 12. X793. Okay. I'll just show you what I'm doing here. I'm trying to. But there's my list, and basically what I've done here is I've ranked all the birds and which ones have done well, and then I've colour coded them to make sure that I don't cross Charlies with Charlies, and so I've done this as best I can. Right then, so I think I've got that about right. I've got my list of who's in which box, and I'll write that on the actual boxes so that I can remember, because my memory is like a goldfish. We're 1 week into pairing up, and it's been a disaster, really, hasn't it? Inexperience definitely shows when it comes to breeding, I would say, and my inexperience is pretty clear. So, learned an awful lot, actually. I've learned an awful lot in this last week or so. So the biggest lesson I think I've learned from this is to have bigger boxes so that I can make the pairing up process last longer, because the boxes are so small and the cocks don't have anywhere, like once the hens are locked in there, they can't get out, the cocks can't get in, and that's great if the cocks know it's their box and they'll stay on those perches, but they ended up going for a different perch and wherever, and then some of them wouldn't perch down on these bottom ones and they were just jumping onto others, which is why I put these new perches back up, just because these guys were constantly landing on these and it was just interrupting, disturbing the whole dynamic of the loft. So because they don't want to perch on these bricks or the wood that I put down there, I have replaced the wood with bricks just because they kept getting on. That's the biggest thing, and then that way I could have the hens in one side, the cocks in the other side, and have a dividing wall or partition between them, so they can just get used to each other for a little bit longer. The other thing that I noticed is they do this little kissy thing. He will try and mount her because she'll want it, and as soon as he does, all the other birds will come and interrupt the major cock block. Watch this, look. Kiss, kiss, come on. Alright, baby, give me some. And as soon as they're at it, look at this. Get off, get off. And they just, how are you meant to breed? Like, can you imagine that as people? As soon as you and your missus are getting it on, bang, the door gets kicked in and people start pushing you off. You're never going to conceive. So they apparently, I'd not heard about that happening, and I was really confused to begin with. So none of the books I've read, none of the videos I've seen on YouTube, none of the posts I've seen anywhere has offered up that when they're breeding or when they're mating on the floor, the others will barge in and cock block them. And and then I googled it, a specific phrase, and then there was this Australian article that I found, and he said that was, yeah, that's usual. It's amazing how any of them ever manage to fertilise an egg when they're constantly harassed whenever they try and do anything in public. And so some of them do actually breed in the boxes. I have seen them mating in the boxes, and then obviously they get to do it by themselves, but get a bit of privacy. It's lately, again, this is something that the chap wrote in the Australian article, was that as soon as the hens come down to have something to eat, again, this would be helped if I could feed them in their boxes more easily. The cocks just peg them to go back to the nest because they're worried about them laying an egg on the floor. They want them in the nest constantly now. So those that have paired up, the hens have got a bit of a tough time, and they have to come down here, grab a mouthful whilst being pecked, and then and jump back into the nest. So anyway, we're a week in, 8 days I think. No eggs as of yet, but I shall check back later. I don't want to disturb them too much. This is the problem with filming anytime, is I haven't scraped these out for 2 days. It's because every time I do, they're not the most tame birds, these young birds, and I kind of just want to, when I put some feed down and they all leave the nest, I'll do that, and I give them a quick scrape out. But the downside of it is it looks a bit of a mess, so apologies for that. It's not that bad really, but obviously a lot of it's stained. I am going to change these floors. Dave gave me some grills to use, so I might put them in here, or I might put them in the new young bird loft. But I am also going to put some better flooring down that's easier to scrape and doesn't leave so many marks. It looks like a load of chewing gum, doesn't it? Pooey chewing gum.
I don't know. I think it's pigeon wings.
What does that say?
Royal Pigeon Racing Association. Unit.
You don't have to read the address. What does it say there? That's where it starts.
Dear Archie, please find enclosed your young racer 3GB 2023 rings.
Is that everything that's in there?
Yeah.
Right, so we've had this balmy weather for the last couple of months, where it's been really warm in November, December and the first part of January. We did have a week or two of cold weather in December, but other than that it's been really warm. And then, would you believe it, it's now, it was -3, -4 last night, and it's going to get to -6 tonight. And what do you know? The birds decided to start laying. And so we've got 2 eggs, one from 1983, Charlie's Angel, and Charlie's bird. So box 2, that's an egg in there. There's also an egg in box 8. And it's just I wish it was going to be warmer. Next week it's going to be warmer, so I think we've got 3 days of really cold weather, and then it goes back up into single digits again. So we shall hope that happens. These 2 should be laying soon. Bucky's pecking her, he wants her to get back in the nest because he thinks she's going to be laying an egg soon, so she better hurry up and do it. Alright. Anyway, I'll update later. Gotta go to work.